Right guys, Dan Hendriksen here, still in lockdown I'm afraid, but today I thought I'd bring to you another on-course lesson, following on from the success of what the response I got from you guys regarding the on-course lesson that I did a little while ago with Lee Whitaker. I thought I'd bring to you another on-course lesson, which is another part of my journey program, a chap called Damo. Now what I thought is go through the process of each shot as he goes through our round, and then I would sort of break it down into a little bit of a summary for you and see if there's anything that hopefully you might be able to learn from it as well. Now Damo has struggled a little bit with the shoulder injury, so when he's playing in this particular one he has just come back off of that, so he hasn't played much golf leading up to that. But let's get down onto the first tee, let's meet up with Damo and see how he gets on the golf course. So great first tee shot. So yep. You've pretty much hit the shot that you wanted to hit. You've picked the target and then moved it off there into the centre of the fairway. You did. How's it making you feel just off the first tee? You're full of confidence coming off the first tee. You've set up and you've hit the shot that you wanted to hit. Yeah. So you feel like you're in control of your game. What little control you've got of your game. Yeah. So is that going to make you play a little bit more aggressively now? Yeah. If you feel like you've got control of your swing and it's doing what you want to do, hopefully you feel like you can go after it a little bit more. So a really solid opening tee shot for Damo there off the first tee. Now we've just come off like a 2-hour lesson in the studio, been working on his swing a little bit with irons, fairway and driver. So coming out of that session he's been absolutely ripping it in the studio. So he's positive, he's feeling really confident at this stage of his round. 125, what are you trying to do on this particular shot? Downhill lie. Yeah. I mean, it's probably the gap wedge for distance. Yeah. I want to almost see you throw it a little bit further if you can, just to make sure you get it past the pin and then bring it back. You've got to see yourself an uphill putt. So almost play it at like 130, just a smooth pitch. Yeah. Okay. Just go straight at it, I would. It's just a really good shot. Really good shot. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Just past the pin and then backed it back up the slope, but just a good strike, isn't it? It's what you asked for, so yeah. That's what you have. So even though the numbers indicated that the gap wedge was the club for what Damo needed on that second shot there, I just wanted him to throw it just that little bit further. If ever you've played the first hole here at Torquay, it kind of bottlenecks in at the front of the green, which is where the pin was situated on this particular one. So I wanted him to throw it just past the pin. And I'm knowing that the greens are quite soft, even though it's landing on a bit of a downslope where he would be landing it, it still would stop pretty quickly, which it did in this situation. So a perfect leave, getting him just past that position. So he's now left himself a nice uphill putt. Right, good leave there. Nice solid uphill putt now, okay? Yep. Settles the nerves, nice couple of putts here. 2 putts from here, yeah, 2 putts. Just moving off, what you seeing it, moving off the left? Slightly off the left, yeah. Just a fraction uphill off the left. Such a good putt. I think it's safe to say you can have that. Thank you, nice putt, well done. Very good. So I want you just to keep an eye on how he's looking and how he's feeling on the golf course. You can see that he's started off really solid. Great drive, good second shot, solid putt, feels like he's got the speed of the greens. Just watch how his emotions now start to sort of, he's up here at this point. Let's just see how he gets on as the round goes on. Okay, what shape are you feeling here, mate? Looks like it wants you to hit a little draw off those 2 big conifers on the right there. Get as max out of this as you can. I mean, you're going to be carrying it like 260 up there, so hopefully. Let's, again, commit to the shot. Proper golf shot. Great hit, mate. It stayed straight, didn't it? But no, it's still a good shot. It's just holding up on there, but it's going to be in the right half of the fairway. Still a good shot. So tee shot off the second hole there. I'm trying to get him to max it out. So what I'm trying to do is get him to hit that draw shot, which is going to give him the most launch and the most sort of flight out of his shot. So that hole, the second hole we're playing, which is actually like the 14th hole at Torquay, is an uphill par 4. It's one of the longer holes, and it plays one of the longer holes on the golf course because it's so uphill. Just getting him to hit that draw shot, start it off at those conifers on the right hand side, turn it off
those back into the fairway, just maxes him out, get him up there as much as we possibly can.
Okay, you've got about 140 on the number, but actually he's probably playing uphill, ball above your feet. What are you seeing as a shape?
See a little draw with it being on the left-hand side of the green. Start of that fat tree at the back of the green and hopefully drop it off on the left.
Again, this slight uphill might just restrict your hips there.
Yeah.
So it might make that club face want to flip over a little bit as you struggle to turn through the shot, okay?
Okay.
So just commit to that shot. Got the shape. That's turning. Is it overturning?
Toe in a bit overturning.
That's okay. That's hung on there. It's okay. It's just hit the left corner of the green.
Strike.
It did that shape though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really did move off this. You got to be careful off these up slopes. Like it will stop you turning and then flip the club over a little bit in your hands. Good shot though.
So I'm liking what Damo's seeing there on that second shot up that hill there. He was trying to hit that draw because obviously the pin is tucked in on that left-hand side of the green. Now what he's not kind of taken into consideration is the uphill. Even though we're talking about it, he's not really factored it in enough. What I mean by that is that his start position needed to be a fraction further right. What he's done there is he's possibly overturned the shot, which meant that he started it where he would have normally started it on a flat lie, but because he's coming off that upslope, it's just gonna, what it's gonna do is slow his hips down and quicken up his hands, which in turn is gonna flip the face over and make it start a little bit further left of where he wanted it. So just something for you all to take that into consideration. When you get on those upslopes like that and uphill lies like he had there, you're gonna get that start position. You'll wanna get it starting further right than what you think.
Right, really good shot from Damo. Just came up just fractionally short. Got lucky that he didn't turn it over too much into that trap. Now you've got a bit of, well, you've got a decent lie. It's not obviously perfect, but it's a decent lie.
Yep.
And you've got a little bit of bit of an upslope going towards the flag there. So there's a little sort of ridge that runs right the way across this green.
Yep.
So you've got to almost feel like you can throw it just a little bit further over there.
Just over.
What are you thinking? You've paced it out. I know you're doing your percentages.
Yeah,
now.
that's probably 50-50 from where I was
where you want to land
originally
it.
thinking to land it, which would probably be a pitching wedge, but if you want it flying a little bit more, maybe just a 9.
Okay, so go
open.
when it lands up there, it's going to land pretty flat.
Yep.
So what we're seeing here as we walk up, there's a slight rise up here. So even though the green kind of starts here, Damo's going to try and pretend that the green kind of starts here, and then he's going to land it in this part here, which then is around 50-50 to what he's thinking. So he's got a percentage with his clubs, and then he's going to start working out exactly what percentage he needs to land it, and then let it release out from there. Okay, just caught it a fraction heavy, didn't you?
Yeah,
didn't quite get the old strike that you wanted, yeah. Always a difficulty coming out of those lies. Roll the putt in though, mate, roll the putt in.
Yeah.
I need to explain to you what I mean by all these 50-50s and percentages of what's going on. So what I like to do with players is I like to try and feel like they can get the ball to start from here, and obviously this is the 100% position here, so this is from ball to target. His landing position there was a 50-50, so it meant it was going to land halfway and then roll and bounce and roll 50% as well. So 50% in the air, 50% roll. If he was going with like a sand wedge, I'd get him to throw it 75% in the air and then have 25% roll. If he was going with like a 7-iron, I'd get him to sort of land it 25% in the air and then 75% roll. Important that we understand that when we're talking about what I'm saying about percentages. The other thing that you'll notice there with what Damo did with his shot, now there was a lot of grass under that golf ball and it was a fluffy kind of lie, and what I wanted to see him do was maybe just come in a fraction steeper on top of it. So something for him to learn. We didn't discuss it at that point, but he certainly came in a little bit shallow, which made him gather up a lot of that grass, which then caught between club face and ball, which then sort of duffed the ball. It sort of just didn't give any power into the ball, so the ball speed would have dropped right down and the ball didn't get to that landing position that he was trying to get to. Other than that, he got it on the line of what we were trying to get him to do. He just didn't quite execute the shot perfectly.
Okay, Damo, what are you thinking?
Touch off the right, if anything.
Just off the right edge for you? Okay, remember it's the speed. You've pretty much got the speed down after the first hole, but slightly uphill. Just needs to be positive on that line. Unlucky, mate. Good hit. Just off the left edge here, maybe left half. Good putt. Well done. Just that little chip shot kind of let you down a little bit there, didn't it? And that wasn't actually a bad shot. It was just a little bit of a poor strike, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Just didn't maybe take into consideration the amount of rough area there is there.
A bit sticky behind the ball. It just grabbed it a touch.
Yeah. All right, we'll make it back up on the next.
Out on the golf course, I'm getting a sense of his emotions kind of already starting to do this a little bit. So even though he's made a bogey there, and you could see he kind of chased that par, he was after that par from that putt, but he made a good recovery putt to finish that off. But you could see that because he duffed the chip a little bit, his emotions are dropping down a fraction, and it's so important that we try and keep that as a pro. When you're walking around and watching these players, you're trying to lift them all the time, trying to keep their chin up as much as you possibly can. So I'm already aware that his emotions are starting to sort of do this a little bit with that one bogey shot we've had there.
138, what are you thinking?
Pitching wedge, probably.
Yeah.
It looks like there's nothing for long and right, so...
Yeah. Don't want to go long, don't want to go right.
I think pitching wedge should be just about the
middle of the green, I'm liking, all right?
Yep.
Middle of that green, right in that shadow in the middle of that green, leaves you a nice uphill putt if you get your clubbing right. Yeah, just a good shot. Started it on the flag, just drifting back towards the pin. Right in the middle of the green, just spinning a bit on you, that, wasn't it?
Bit of badger.
Bit of badger. Lovely.
So a little temporary hole there coming down onto 16. There's been some work being done on the fairway, so that hole is actually normally a par 4. It's playing at about 135, something around those lines, being slightly downhill as well. Now, really dangerous green, this one, so you don't want to be going long. You cannot miss it left or right, and there's a huge amount of slope in this green, running from back to front and then from right to left. So for Damo there, it was absolutely key that he didn't go pin seeking. Pins on the right hand side, a lot of danger on the right. I didn't want him to go pin seeking. I wanted him to drop it into the middle of the green and give himself those 2 putts. Let's settle him down a little bit by getting him with a par, if not a birdie, moving on.
Right, great tee shot in the end. Pretty much pin high, just short of pin high, spun back, didn't it? But it was just a good spot, left yourself a nice uphill putt.
Uphill putt, slightly off the left.
You can see the danger around this green, can't you, when you start getting a bit aggressive with it?
Definitely, yeah, you try and be too clever with it. You're going to start dropping shots instead of getting them back. So.
Right, come on then, uphill putt just off your left hand side.
Yeah.
Go, get up there.
That's it.
Right, Damo. Ignore the first putt. Let's just roll this one in, yeah?
Follow that, it says.
Follow that in. Shame that, mate. That was a shame. Just the first putt let you down there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Was it a poor strike, or was it just you didn't quite think it was that slow up the hill?
I didn't think it was that slow, and putting on the last hole when I shot by about 6 foot, probably still in my head a little bit, because that was slightly uphill.
Yeah, again, this being very wet, this green, lots of moisture in the green, and just quite a lot more upslope than you probably thought as well.
And it's a bit woolly because it's...
Yeah, because it's wet.
Yeah.
So a real shame for Damo there to walk off with a 3-putt, but you can see his emotions again changing. He's frustrated now. He's given himself a little foot tap with the putter. Obviously he's walked off with a 3-putt, which is never nice, but you have to be aware for that particular green, there's a lot more upslope than you think. There's a lot of slope on that green, and also it's very wet. That green was particularly wet. You could see that when he pulled the flag out the hole, there was a lot of water in the hole. So again, when you're playing on the golf course, make sure that you're aware of that. There's going to be golf courses when you get out there that are going to have new greens and old greens. Torquay's got probably 9 new greens and 9 old greens. The old greens gather up the water a lot, which in that particular case just made that putt particularly slow.
3-wood. You can get 3-wood there. You just hit one 250 with a 3-wood in the studio, so you can do this.
No proof of that. No proof.
Hey?
You've no proof of that.
No, I've got no proof of that. No, you're right, I don't.
We'll give it a go, won't
we? 250 it's playing, all right? Commit to the shot. Commit to the shot. You've been hitting this well in the studio.
Yeah.
Just trust it. A little bit out the heel.
Was, yeah.
Just moving up on the right hand side.
A bit weak.
Might have found might have found a bunker up there, but we'll have a little look. Just a poor strike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit out of the heel, cut away on you.
Not good.
No. Right, a decent lie, we've got it. You carried the trap nicely.
Yeah.
So it's all right, really, isn't it? It's actually now in a position where you were probably a little bit upset on the tee.
Yeah.
But you're in a position now where you can. This is again another green light situation for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The lie's pretty good. You've got lots of green to work with. You only need to land it, what, 30, 35 yards max?
Yeah.
Again, you see where Dean's ball is there, just short right.
Yep.
That's the perfect spot.
Right.
Because it's leaving you a nice uphill putt from there. Anything past the pin, it's just going to sort of get a bit speedy on you coming back down the slope, all right? Club?
Got a 50 degree.
50 degree? I like that, coming out maybe a little bit lower.
Just, yeah.
Let it skip up the green a little bit.
A bit lower, just land it over that ump that we can see there.
Yeah,
and
just over the bunker and then let it release out. I like that. Again, commit to the shot. Get up a little bit. Yeah. Just is it just dug in a little bit? Just died on you a little bit again. Soft green, but again, really well executed shot.
With the execution.
Yeah, it was very good, mate. You can feel it when you're walking around on this green. How much? Yeah. What does it feel like compared to the previous green?
A bit firmer, this one.
Yeah, well, this is a newer green
for
the course, so this is a better draining green. Not that you would know that, but you can certainly start to feel it under your feet.
Certainly firmer
again,
underfoot.
Something for you to be aware of when you're playing other golf courses, you know.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit quicker under those circumstances. Basically, there's not as much water, let's say, in the green.
Okay.
On the surface. Uphill, maybe just moving off your left side.
Off the left slightly.
Just off the left slightly, yeah.
Okay.
Again, be positive with it, alright?
Yeah.
Right off the previous putting, just be positive, back to reboot. Stay there. Come in. Oh. That's a good putt. That was a really good putt. Again, better speed in that green, wasn't it?
Yeah, much easier to judge it.
Yeah, because it's a normal green. It's not quite as wet as the other one was. Well done. Good 4 though. Gave it a run for the 3.
So I'm just trying to make him aware when he's walking up onto that green how different it felt underfoot compared to the previous green. Again, the 17th hole at Torquay, that green is a newer green, whereas the 16th hole is an older green. So the 16th hole holding water, the 17th hole draining nicely going through. So again, when you're playing golf and playing in the winter time especially, just be aware of it when you're wandering across the greens. Just get a feel of what it feels like underfoot. The other thing that I want you to be aware of there is his emotions, how again, because he's hit a nice putt, good strike, good pitch, good putt, he's picked himself up again. So his emotions are up here now, so he's feeling much, much more confident going into the 18th hole.
Okay, 145. There's a little puff of wind now. I'm feeling it maybe just into, or is it off the right?
Slightly off the right, maybe a touch hurting.
Okay, so 9 irons pulled.
Yep.
Not going to get a great deal of shape with a 9 iron, are you? So,
no.
So taking dead aim or just left of flag?
Just left at flag, hopefully it'll stay there.
Perfect. Let's go with it then. Again, commit to the shot that you've got in front of you. Commit to your target.
Oh, slapper.
A little bit heavy, moving over towards the left side of the green. Might have just caught up in that trap on the front left. Ball below his feet, he's going to be standing out of the bunker. He's got loads of green to work with. What club have you pulled?
Well, I've picked up 54, but I'm thinking maybe a 50 might be more relevant.
I'm liking a 50 or even a pitching wedge because you've got so much green to work with.
Get some run.
Get it out and let it run down. Yeah. I would say with this wet green, if I was caddying for you, I'd be saying, right, put that pitching wedge in your hand, open it up like a normal shot, like a normal bunker shot, and just execute it normally, and let it just release out, because obviously it's got less loft on it. Now, ball is way below your feet, so I don't want you to grip down the club. I want you to grip right up the end of the club for me, okay, and I want you to feel like you're squatting a little bit, okay? You're aiming slightly left because you've got that face quite a lot open there, so and then commit. Inch behind the ball, weight on the left side a bit more, give it a good thump down into the sand as you would normally. Much better. And then look, pitching wedge now releasing down the green as it goes through there. Okay, he's a little bit short and he's taken a little bit too much sand, but he's got lots and lots of run. Would you ever have used a wedge again out of a bunker like that? Is that something you've used that before?
Yeah, before, with a lower spin, hoping to get that run out because it's such a big distance you've got there hopefully.
But going from a 54 to then using a pitching wedge is probably something you wouldn't have necessarily used in a competition yourself.
Maybe not in a comp, no. No, I wouldn't have thought of that, no.
Definitely worth experimenting with, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Love using 9-irons and pitching wedges out of bunkers. And I understand there's a lot of people out there that don't get the opportunity to practice that shot particularly a lot, because if you think about a lot of the short game areas that we have, certainly in the UK, it's quite a small area. And you don't have those bunkers where they're set up where you can play long bunker shots with a lot of green to work with. Damo talked about that he's possibly played it before, but certainly wouldn't have thought about doing it in a competition. Why not? Try it. There's no danger in giving these shots a go. Definitely when you're out practicing on the golf course, just have experiments with shots. Even just take somebody on from that distance, you know, get yourself with somebody else, have a little competition from that distance. Just experiment with 9-irons and wedges. This is something I learned as very much a youngster from watching a video of Nick Faldo showing this particular shot. He was using a 9-iron from a long way away, running it up the green, letting it chase up the green, getting that descent angle coming out a little bit flatter and let it just skip up the green. Definitely a shot worth practicing.
Go on then, let's see if we can roll this one up there. You're playing for a 4 now, and if you hole it, it's a bonus, all right?
Yep.
Putt. It's a little bit wet again, this green, isn't it?
A bit lively, wasn't it?
It was a little bit lively. What were you thinking over that putt?
It needed a good hit. It looked a bit bully and, like you say, a bit wetty, so give it a good whack.
All fell apart just at the end there, didn't it?
A little bit.
A little bit.
No one likes to finish on a 3-putt.
So there's just a little insight in what we do when we get out onto the golf course. For Damo, you can see there it's massively a huge roller coaster for him with emotions as he's going around the golf course. He's really high when he hits a good shot. He's really down on himself when he's hitting poor shots. And that goes with putting as well. You could see early on, I thought he had the pace of the greens quite nicely. But as the round went on, he's putting himself under possibly a little bit more pressure, especially when it came to the putts for par. He was a bit more aggressive with those putts than he was necessarily for the putts for birdies that he had. I think it's important that you try and keep a level playing field. Whenever you watch the better players, you don't know whether they're 5 over par or 5 or 6 under par. They keep themselves in a very much a level playing field, and they try and keep their emotions on a basically a wavelength that kind of moves along like this. So they're not getting emotionally attached to making birdies, and they're certainly not getting emotionally attached to making bogeys. Let me know, put your comments down below. What did you think about that as a playing lesson, should we say? Have you been out yourselves and done playing lessons with pros yourself? Do you enjoy these types of videos? I'd like to hear what you have to say. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and be safe everybody, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon.